Hi everyone.
Hi guys.
Lovely to see you again. Welcome back. More exploration now for the Art and Olfaction Awards finalists.
The journey continues.
We're making our journey. How many have we done so far? We've done a few, haven't we? Not many, but a few.
Three? Have we done three, maybe four.
So there's more to go.
We've definitely done some.
This is good. I'm glad there's more to go because I'm liking what I've found so far.
Yeah.
What I've smelt so far. So Darren, what have we got today?
So today we are in the Artisan category again. We have La Tacita de Café by Day 3 Fragrances. So we were kindly sent these samples by the brand. Thank you very much. Partly because at the moment they only ship in the USA. So this is
we don't live there, so
we do not live there.
That's a problem.
So it's maybe just
something
to mention to people watching. If you live in the outside the USA, you will need to contact them if you want to try and arrange shipping. So La Tacita de Café. This is our first of 2 fragrances with the name Café. The next video we're going to do also is a fragrance with the name Café in it.
I love coffee, I have to say, so I'm excited for the potential.
I love coffee. Coffee notes in perfume are quite kind of ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Very
Often badly done.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't think of many which have been successful.
Follow by Kerosene, I enjoyed.
Follow was good.
That was fun.
I mean, I do quite like, even if it's not a brand I love, I quite like Intoxicated by Killian.
Yeah, with the cardamom coffee vibe. Yeah, that's good.
But it's done badly, lots and lots. So I tell you what.
So is coffee then.
What?
So is coffee.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
I've had some bad coffees.
Yeah. I mean, and actually, bad coffee is really ubiquitous, isn't it?
It's just like brown weed.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get a good coffee. I know some good places if you need a recommendation.
Yes. Also, if you order a coffee and it comes in like a half pint glass, you know it's going to be bad. Anyway, but here we are. So I have smelt this. I've had this for a little while, so I've worn it. I've tested it on skin. So I'm going to be able to talk a little bit about the dry down. Joe has not smelt it or tried it. Hasn't read the notes list. Doesn't really know anything about it. So
not in a rude way, but I'm all about the opening. So that's my department. Not in a rude way. You filthy minds. Let's spray the perfume. And
sure. So I'll tell you what. I'll spray
a little cup of coffee.
Then I'll give it a chat. You always got to spray lots. Here you go. So it says, inspired by the warm, comforting smell of Dominican coffee, served on a late afternoon in a tiny, ornate cup with a spoonful of dark brown sugar and a small piece of warm cake.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That makes me feel all cozy and warm. Oh, something very, very interesting just happened there to me.
So, do you not get? I don't get much coffee in the first spray. What I get is orange and spice. I almost get like a slight orange liqueur thing.
Yeah, the first thing I got was like a really boozy orange, and then in a split second I got licorice.
Yep. Yeah, I can see licorice.
And now it's sort of teetering.
And now you're just starting to get the coffee.
Also, I'm starting to like it. Like the very, very first spray, I thought, is it going to be like a bit cloyingly sweet, sickly? And already it's starting to get more interesting.
No, it kind of, yeah. But it's interesting.
That orange thing is
you definitely start with kind of spiced orange.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cakey, actually.
Very cakey.
I can imagine this being like a lemon drizzle, but with an orange instead of lemon.
What I like this, whenever I hear that, I don't generally like gourmand fragrances, and whenever I hear kind of suggestions of a gourmand, it says here gourmand ingredients are perfectly complemented with smoky woods and resins, resulting in luxurious opulent scent with sillage that makes a statement. And that worries me, but actually it just teeters on the right side of gourmand. It was interesting when I wore this, I wore this on skin, and I found the kind of the spice was slightly more accented than it is on card. And this orange spice almost made me think of Taboo by Dana.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'd see what you mean actually.
Which has that kind of spice, like spiced Terry's chocolate orange. Slightly.
Yeah, and it gives it a slightly Christmassy, wintry Christmassy mulled wine. Winter Wonderland, Hyde Park vibe.
Yep. But
I already know I would probably enjoy wearing this on a cold day. I know people sometimes say,
Yeah.
you know, where do you
But
wear this?
definitely, it's not a hot.
No.
It's not a hot, sweaty day fragrance at all. Surprisingly smooth, considering.
Is it on skin?
Yeah, I thought on skin, and even on card, it feels quite smooth. They're quite big notes. The orange, the spice, the slight sweetness is quite. I don't feel it's jagged.
No, I know sort of rough edges I can detect. I like this chocolatey orange thing. I can't quite imagine how it goes from here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting any hints of where it goes.
Well, so what is interesting is
Boozy though.
it's quite boozy. As you go on, you're definitely staying in this kind of cakey territory, but it's good that it never becomes sweet. I've written, a few times creamy.
Forgot my mic. This is why they didn't want me on GMTV. I said, look, I'm not wearing a mic. I put it the wrong way around. Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, we will carry on.
You know, we can edit this out.
It becomes it becomes creamy, but not saccharine sweet.
Yeah.
It kind of teeters on the edge ever so slightly.
Do you remember when we went to the Osmotech? We smelt that thing, the forbidden fruit.
Le fruit. What was it called?
Disparu.
Yeah. What was it?
Or Despondu or something.
Yeah, whatever it was.
It was from a long, long time
Yeah.
ago, and it had this big sort of chocolate orange thing going on as well.
Perdu, was it? No.
Yeah,
I can't
something.
remember what it is.
It had a name, and that much is
I try to
certain.
remember. But yeah, and it felt strangely modern. So I get this sort of orange tiramisu vibe to this. Coffee cream.
But I still don't get the coffee thing.
The coffee, I felt
I know it's in the mix, but
it never becomes huge.
Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe just the subtle use of it is part of the charm.
Quite possibly. It's just, it's just funny when you call a fragrance a small cup of coffee. I essentially get spiced orange, leading to a bit of kind of creaminess. Maybe, but I never really got.
But maybe it's a little espresso shot that has a little bit of an orange thing. It's a very subtle coffee, and it's all about the orange and spice, and
Possibly.
not much aftertaste in terms of the coffee flavour.
No, because I do think there is some progression. There's a. So I've mentioned kind of creaminess which isn't saccharine, and I think that comes from tonka, which kind of gives you that creamer, almost vanillic quality without ever being too saccharine sweet.
Yeah.
And I feel that becomes quite prominent, and then leads you to a sort of tonkery, sandalwoody dry down.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing with tonka. It doesn't have to be sickly sweet, does it? It can add a nice creamy, round, inviting, cushiony base.
And it's interesting because it works so well in kind of fougere accords.
Yeah.
Or fougere fragrances, but equally it can work in this context. I mean,
It's interesting. I'm sort of intrigued by it.
It's interesting. I mean, I put down not hugely complicated fragrance. After you go past this initial orange, I think you can always feel the orange starting to dissipate. It goes increasingly creamy, and then it kind of stays there in that slightly creamy, slightly woody, subtle hint of amber for quite a long time.
I can imagine the amber coming through. I'm getting hints of there being a bit of a backbone of it.
And it's not until the kind of real dry down, about kind of like 8 hours or so, that it starts to turn a little bit sweeter with a little bit more vanilla-y wood. Dry down, but I never got much coffee at all to this. And if I was looking for a coffee fragrance, I would be disappointed. If I was looking for a cafe experience, I think you would be happy with this.
I think in its own right, I think it's a really lovely and interesting perfume. I want to wear it on skin because I think there's so much I'm missing.
I think it's interesting. I think it's very, very well executed, especially on skin. I felt it was real smooth. Nothing was sticking out. There was some interest without it being kind of all over the place.
It's not a very loud thing, is it?
No, it's amazing.
It's got personality though.
I mean, they said there was, opulent scent with a sillage that makes a statement. When I wore it on skin, I didn't think that was the case. I thought it was moderate, reasonable sillage. It wasn't a quiet fragrance. I mean, I have to say, it lasted. After 10 hours, I could smell it well without it being. We were talking before this video about we really dislike those fragrances which are obnoxiously persistent. It isn't that. It was just present for 10 hours.
Just living and breathing on the skin.
It's good. It's well made. I
like it.
I'm not.
It's not rocking your world.
I don't think
maybe.
it's hugely original. It's not.
I mean, I don't know in terms of coffee, orange, flavors and perfumes, what there is out there. I like it a lot. I think I would wear it under certain sort of circumstances, but I don't. If I was looking for a coffee thing, again, I would think, oh no, I could do with a bit more of the actual coffee.
Yeah, I think it's a slightly misleading name. Yeah, I mean, you definitely can smell some coffee, but you have to reach for it. And I felt even more when I wore it on skin. It definitely, the coffee didn't leap out at me.
I think it's more of a booze-laden orange cake.
Yeah,
with a dusting of cocoa powder.
And I think the booze and the orange starts to recede, and you've got this slightly creamy, slightly gourmand without being too sweet.
Yeah, it's good though. I like.
It's good.
Like
it's well made. It's elegantly put together.
I'm glad that that's in the world of perfume.
Yeah, I'm glad. I struggle to get excited about it.
Yeah, and you've worn it on skin, so you know even better than I do. I will try it on skin.
But it's also, I mean, and this is something, as we've said in previous videos, I definitely consider it's $115 for 50ml X-ray, which is very reasonably priced, I would say.
Yeah, very good.
Especially in the context of some of the other nominees in this competition. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a like.
I think that's okay. Yeah.
It's a strong like without being a love.
Yeah. Which sometimes is fine.
Yeah. So if you've tried us, if you've tried us, let you know what it thinks.
How we were.
No. If you've tried it, let us know what you think.
Yes, that.
I said, maybe people might have a different reaction on skin to the reaction I had, but I never got a huge amount of the coffee, so it doesn't quite set me going.
Yeah.
But yeah. Until next time.
Bye.
Happy sniffing.